Last time on Then and Now.
And now is known as one of the worst Sonic games ever made. This game belongs on the Sonic Hall of Shame. The game wasn't really good, but it's sometimes, some people might like it, but it gets boring fast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I present you with Then and Now Sonic the Hedgehog Part 3. So we finally reached the Dreamcast era of Sonic games. I wonder how many more parts there will be of this. Anyways, let's start off with the first 3D Sonic game, Sonic Adventure. Now, a lot of people would say that Sonic 3D Blast was the first 3D Sonic game, and to that I say no. I refuse to acknowledge that game as a true 3D Sonic game. Alright, let me get back to Sonic Adventure. The plot is a tad long, but I'll try to summarize it as best I can. The story starts off on Angel Island, aka Knuckles' home. The leader of the Echidna tribe named fuck it, I'm just gonna call him Pac, wants world domination. His daughter, Tikal, finds the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald in a shrine, and then befriends Chaos, who is the guardian of the emerald. The rest of the tribe then run into the shrine, and Chaos becomes perfect chaos and kills everyone on the island, and then Tikal decides to seal herself within the Master Emerald with Chaos to prevent any more damage. Then around 3,000 years later, while Knuckles is guarding the emerald, Eggman sets Chaos free. Eggman wants the Chaos's powers to destroy Station Square and build Robotnik Land over it. Then Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, a few other characters, and Big the Cat, set off to defeat Eggman and stop Chaos. Sonic Adventure was known as one of the best Sonic 3D games to have been made, and I can say that I agree. Even though the cutscenes and voice acting could be better, the game itself is very fun to play, and to me, that's what really matters about a video game. The reviewers praised this game, and it was probably one of the reasons that Sonic stayed in 3D a lot after this. Next up, we have Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Yeah, I never played that thing either. So to sum this up as easy as I can, it's a handheld 2D Sonic game with similar level design to Sonic 2, with a few features from Sonic 1. The reviews, even though there weren't many, were actually good. IGN gave this a 10 out of 10 Whoa, wait, what? You telling me that this got a 10 out of 10 score from IGN? Wait, what? Why? Like, it's not a bad game or anything, but I seriously doubt that it deserves a 10 out of 10. Wow. Next up, we have Sonic Shuffle for the Sega Dreamcast. Ah, the Dreamcast. Good times. Anyway, I cannot explain Sonic Shuffle better than Mario Party for Sonic. That's it. Do you need further explanation? I don't. I'm all set. That's what I think. That's it, I think. I don't have nothing else to say. So yeah, next game. Next game on the list is Sonic Adventure 2. Now this is probably what most people have been looking forward to in this episode, so here it is. Now the story is long, so again I will attempt to summarize it as best I can and also to avoid spoiling parts for those of you who haven't played this game yet. After the events of Sonic Adventure 1, Dr. Eggman discovers the mention of a secret weapon in his grandfather's journal, so he proceeds to break into Gun Facility and retrieve this weapon. This weapon is who we know today as Shadow the Hedgehog. Now for those of you who don't know who Shadow is, even though you should, Shadow the Hedgehog can be summarized as a darker version of Sonic. That's all you really need to know about him right now. His whole backstory will be mentioned in a game we tackle later. A little bit later, not now though. Anyway, Shadow offers to help Eggman take over the world, but only if he will meet him at an abandoned space colony Ark with more Chaos Emeralds. Shadow then steals one of the Chaos Emeralds and flees from the scene. Since nobody can get a good look at Shadow, they mix him up with Sonic, which leads to Sonic getting arrested. After Sonic flees from the military, he confronts Shadow, who is speaking only a few words to Sonic, and then uses Chaos Control to escape, leaving Gun to arrest Sonic. Meanwhile, all this is happening, Knuckles is going head-to-head with Rouge the Bat and Eggman, who are both trying to steal the Master Emerald. To prevent this from happening, Knuckles shatters the Master Emerald into pieces. So now Knuckles has to collect all the pieces of the Master Emerald and put it back together. Rouge decides to collect the shards for personal gain, but she must also do her government job by spying on Eggman. So Eggman and Shadow decide to have Rouge assist them in gathering the Chaos Emeralds, and Rouge does this so she can kill two birds with one stone by spying on Eggman and gathering the shards at the same time. Tails and Amy infiltrate Prison Island and save Sonic from Gun, while Eggman, Rouge, and Shadow collect 3 emeralds on the island, which they destroy afterwards. Eggman then broadcasts a threat to the world and demonstrates the power of his cannon by blowing up half the moon. Damn. Now Sonic and the team use an emerald to track down the other 6, they infiltrate Eggman's base and attempt to stop him from taking over the world again. This game also introduced the Chow Garden. where you can find Chows and raise them to make them stronger. This was known as a great way to spend a lot of time in Sonic Adventure 2, and it was a beloved feature. Reception of Sonic Adventure 2 went very well. Everyone loved it, and the Sonic fanbase still loves it more than the games that are being released today. This game is probably the most nostalgic game in the Sonic series for most fans, and at this point, many fans think that this was Sonic's absolute best so far. Alright, now we have Sonic Advance for the Game Boy Advance. So this game really doesn't have a story. It's just Sonic and the gang trying to stop Eggman from taking over the world again. You can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Each character's moveset is the same as it was in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, with a new addition of a melee attack. Unlike the other characters, Amy can't attack mid-air or use the spin dash, and she must rely on her Pico hammer, I hope I'm saying that right, to defeat enemies. They also had a tiny Chow Garden feature in this game, but it was a lot more limited than in Adventure 2, which led to disappointment from some fans. The reception of this game was good, reviewers liked it and didn't rate it too harshly since it was a Sonic handheld game. Next up we have the sequel, Sonic Advance 2. Just like the first one, Sonic Advance 2 is another 2D side-scrolling game similar to the classic titles. Just like Sonic Advance 1, this game has no story. In this game, the player can play as Sonic, Tails, Cream the Rabbit, Knuckles, and Amy Rose. Not much else to say about this game. It's just like Sonic Advance 1, but it's improved a little bit more. Although the sales of Japan and the US are added up over 1 million sales together, which makes Sonic Advance 2 one of the highest selling games on the Game Boy Advance. This game also received good reviews from critics, and it is usually well spoken of by fans. Next up we have Sonic Battle for the Game Boy Advance. So this is the second Sonic fighting game released, and Sonic the Fighters was received okay. Sonic Battle's plot revolves around this weapon called the Gizoid. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Which was created in ancient civilization, and then it was unearthed and researched by Eggman's grandfather, Professor Gerald Robotnik, and then Dr. Eggman tried to make the Gizoid work properly until he got frustrated and abandoned it on Emerald Beach, where Sonic finds it. Sonic names the Gizoid Emerald, and then the whole gang raises Emerald into a fun-loving mech. When Eggman finds out that Gizoid was working again, he tries to retrieve it again. This game is set in 3D arenas with up to 4 players with their own attacks. In this game, you can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Rouge, Cream, E102 Gamma, Chaos, and Emerald. Damn, that's a lot of characters. This game got mixed to positive reviews from critics. Some praised it for using 2D sprites in a 3D fighting Sonic game. Others thought it was ripping off other games. IGN had once said, it doesn't try hard to be what Smash Bros. Is, and even the game doesn't quite reach the same status Nintendo and HAL created for the Nintendo consoles. Sonic Battle has enough stuff to make it one of the top original fighters on the Game Boy Advance system. So in full, it was known as a good game. For the last game of this part, we have Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes is a game that lets you play with 4 different teams. On Team Sonic, we have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. On Team Dark, we have Shadow the Hedgehog, Rouge the Bat, and E123 Omega, who is a robot who was shut down by Eggman and wants revenge. On Team Rose, we have Amy Rose, Cream the Rabbit, and Big the Cat. And on Team Chaotix, we have Espio the Chameleon, Vector the Crocodile, and Charmy the Bee. This plot takes place a few months after Sonic Adventure 2. At this point, Sonic was doing his own little thing, running around and stuff. Then Tails and Knuckles come by and show him a letter from Eggman, saying that he has a secret weapon that will take over the Earth in 3 days. Seriously, Eggman makes some dumb decisions for a guy with a 300 IQ. If he didn't send the letter to Sonic and the gang, then they would not have known about this until it was actually happening. Anyways, Team Sonic's objective is to stop Eggman. Team Rose's objective is to find the friends of Cream the Rabbit and Big the Cat, who are Chicola the Chow and Froggy. For Team Dark's story, Rouge infiltrates Eggman's base and finds Shadow in a capsule, even though he's presumed dead after the events of Sonic Adventure 2, and E123 Omega, who has been abandoned by Eggman. Since Shadow has lost his memory from the events of Sonic Adventure 2, and E123 Omega has his own hatred for Eggman, the 3 go after Eggman in hoping to find clues of Shadow's identity along the way. The only problem with Team Dark's story is that Rouge was there for the events of Sonic Adventure 2. She could easily tell Shadow everything that happened, but she just doesn't. And for Team Chaotix, Charmy, Vector, and Espio get a call from a mysterious client offering them money for their services, and since they never turn down a job that pays because of the rent, they set off. Even though you play as 4 different teams in this game, it doesn't really make a difference because every team plays exactly the same. The only thing that changes between the teams is the length and the difficulty of the stages. It would have probably worked better if they decided to make every team's playstyle different, and then they would have made the game reviews much better. The reviews of Sonic Heroes were mixed to positive. There are some that liked the game, but then there were some that couldn't avoid the plot holes and the small flaws that this game had, like the control. Okay, now that is the end of the third part of Sonic the Hedgehog's Then and Now. This was a big one to make. Next time we attack the very hated game Shadow the Hedgehog, and more Sonic games such as Sonic Rush and Sonic Advance 3. Tune in next time on Then and Now. Thanks for watching my video, I really appreciate it. Now if you want to see more of my videos, then just click either of the boxes below and it'll take you right to them. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I also have a Facebook and Twitter, both links are in the description. There you can see everything that's happening with me and my videos. Thanks for waiting for this video guys, I will see you again soon.